Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you may be right now. This is for all of the North Carolina school teachers out there, in particular Pitt County school teachers. But of course, if you're a school teacher anywhere, this can benefit you today. Some of you know my sweet significant partner is a lifelong teacher. And so I have a special place in my heart for the teaching community. It has been a particularly stressful time for you and for the families and students many of you work with, and so I just wanted to offer a token of my appreciation. When we think about wellness, one of the things to think about, there's several domains depending on where you look. We've got our physical wellness, our psychological wellness, our emotional wellness, spiritual wellness, professional wellness, and so forth. And today I want to offer a simple mindfulness exercise. It's very short. I know time is of the essence for many of us, and it's time limited. We're juggling. Many people are juggling their jobs as well as helping their kids, their own children, manage their responsibilities, and then with the fear that is going around right now, so much worry and fear, and some of it is of course legitimate, but it doesn't really help us progress forward to stay in a state of fear. And so a really wonderful exercise to practice is any form of a mindfulness. And there are lots of ways to practice mindfulness, but today we're just going to do a very simple exercise. So I invite you to find a quiet place to sit or relax if you can. If not, then I encourage you to listen to this at a time when you can do that. And we're going to keep it really short here, but the first thing I'd like you to do is to, again, find a comfortable place to sit or lie down if you can. You can also do this standing, of course. One of the interesting things about mindfulness is it doesn't require any change in the moment. Mindfulness is much more about an awareness of what is. For more resources, you might check out mindfulness-based stress reduction, MBSR. And there's a free course you can take, an 8-week course called Palouse Mindfulness, Palouse, mindfulness. And this is an evidence-based practice. So I would encourage any of you who are really interested, you can call me, or you can certainly go to that website, palausemindfulness.com, I believe it's called, and dive a little deeper with this. For today, here's what I invite you to do. I invite you to just simply utilize the senses of your eyes for the moment. And I would like you to find a place, whether you're in a room or whether you're outside. You can even use the computer screen or phone screen itself. And just simply notice what you notice with your eyes. In particular, I would encourage you to focus on one particular area. And just simply notice it, perhaps noticing it in a way you've never noticed it before. I'm looking at a camera right now, and I'm noticing the dimensionality of the camera and how I recognize there's a lens, but I can't see the lens in the lighting as such. And just simply notice what you notice. And then notice any sounds that you hear. And shift your awareness now to any sounds that you hear. And as the mind begins to drift, and it will, bring your awareness back to any sounds that you hear. In particular, focus on one sound at a time. You might even notice the contrast in sounds. Perhaps the air conditioner or a fan, the sound of my voice, the humming of a computer or a light, or some children in the background or a pet purring. Simply notice what you notice. And then bring your awareness to the breath. Our breath is a wonderful resource for self-care. It's one of those few things that we have that is automatic for us, that we don't have to think about. And then at the same time, we can control our breathing to a certain degree. Now, I'm not asking you to change your breathing. I'm just simply asking you to be aware of the breath. You might, for example, notice the difference of the air temperature that you breathe in versus the temperature of the air when you breathe out. Notice where the air goes in your body. Notice where the oxygen moves around. Notice where you feel it. Notice if you're breathing into your shoulders, or if you're practicing a deeper level of breathing, diaphragmatic breathing or abdominal breathing as it's referred to, where the lower chambers of the lungs are allowed to fill up with oxygen. If you've ever played a wind instrument, or if you've ever been a singer or something like that, you've probably learned diaphragmatic breathing. But just simply notice where it is for you, and then bring your awareness to your left pinky toe. Perhaps this is not something you think of that often, but just simply bring your awareness to that left pinky toe right now and simply notice what's going on with your left pinky toe at this very moment. Perhaps it feels weightless. Perhaps it feels heavy or light. Perhaps there's a tingling sensation there. I'm not sure for you what it is, but simply notice. And notice what you feel emotionally at this moment. Notice what you feel emotionally. And notice if it's shifting at all since you began this exercise. Simply bring your awareness to your feelings. We're not doing anything with them. We're not focusing on changing them. We're simply observing them and accepting them, allowing them. Even if there's a desire for a change, at this moment, we're simply to observe, to allow, and to accept that it is what it is in this moment. And then bring your awareness back to the breath, always back to the breath. And as the thoughts begin to drift, you just simply bring your awareness shifting back to the breath. One of the quickest ways to self-care, something we generally have some semblance of control over, is to focus on deep breathing, although that's not the purpose of this exercise. And deep breathing really is a wonderful way, slow deep breathing, to just tell our nervous system to slow things down a little bit. Sends a signal to the brain, and the brain responds. And now bring your awareness to your thoughts. You might notice that thoughts are like clouds in a big blue sky. Sometimes those clouds are thick and dark, and slow moving. And when those clouds are like that, just know that there's always a place where you can shelter until some of those clouds begin to dissipate and move on, and then you can return from the shelter out under that big blue sky. Some of the thought clouds are like wisps. They come and go fleeting, hardly any substance to them at all. Some of the thoughts may be fear-based. The media, government. Many things right now want us to be very afraid. They may not want it, but it's certainly being promoted. And those are like seeds in the mind, right? Seeds in the garden of the mind. And so simply bring your awareness to those thoughts that float into and out of the mind. You may even notice you have some influence over the wind factor of the clouds, so that if you're experiencing racing thoughts, just, cloud after cloud after cloud coming in, you might find you can practice slowing some of that down a little bit. If the clouds are dark and thick and deep, then you might find that just by paying attention to that, you can find some relief in allowing those clouds to expand or to dissipate and to become softer. Lots of things we can do with the use of our imaginative faculties. And then bring your awareness now back to the breath. You might choose to engage all 5 senses, such as smell. Notice now what you smell. Sometimes during this portion of the exercise, it can be fun to introduce a smell. Since we have olfactory desensitization, it can be fun to bring a lemon to the nose or anything else, preferably something pleasant, but it doesn't have to be. And notice now any taste. What do you taste? And then bring your awareness back to the breath. So a very short exercise. This is something you can do on your own. Sometimes we call it the 5 senses exercise, where we go through each of the 5 senses. Anytime somebody's feeling anxious or worried about something, the 5 senses exercise is a really good one to use. And again, you can do it on your own, no matter where you are, so long as it's safe for you to do so. And you can just simply go slowly and methodically through the 5 senses. And you can spend 60 seconds on it, or you can spend 5 to 10 minutes doing that. And almost inevitably, you're going to find that'll help de-escalate. It'll bring those levels of stress down. We're taught that anxiety cannot live in this very moment. I hope this has been helpful for you. I certainly do appreciate all of the North Carolina and Pitt County school teachers, and thank you for your service, and hang in there. You're worth it. Your students are worth it. Your family's worth it. Take care.